welcome to my channel. Welcome to this week's WiPnChat. I'm going to start getting into my tea, which likes sticking to my coaster, unfortunately. And now it's drippy. And I've been busy waiting for a video to upload or copy or do something. My tea has cooled down. I'd ended up making a fresh tea, especially for this video, and my poor little computer brain seems to have a lag, so I'm just hoping that the video is going to come out okay for you guys. Alright, I'm working on Galaxy. I have put a piece of washi tape down here, and I have cut the washi tape because I'm working on her face. So it's gone and torn a bit, and this is why I actually don't like, well, it's not that I don't like the clear tape. I actually don't like dividing up the clear canvas because it's, it tears too easily, and anyway, it's my bugbear. But all I want to do is work on her face today, and yeah, so I've got all my drills here. And, well, let's just get stuck in, and I'll fill you in on my week, and yeah, we'll see where we're up to. Warning now, Sophie is overtired and crabby. She is refusing to have a sleep. I don't know if that means that she's going to conk out. I'm actually going to get a bigger placer than that. Oh my goodness. Hang on. I'm going to, sorry, I need to do some maintenance. I've got some washi tape on the butt of this, but it's not enough and it keeps pulling out. So I'm going to do that while I'm chatting with you. So, yes, she's a crabby. She may kick off. I may edit out her crabby, and I may throw her into bed again. She's already tried to be put down, but refusing. As a 2-year-old does. Because she knows better. Alright, so around the base, washi tape doesn't stick brilliantly, so, you know, we just do the best we can, to be honest. And fold that up. Whoops, get the stabby thing out of the way, because I don't want to get stabbed by one of those. If you haven't been stabbed by your tweezers yet, you're probably doing it wrong. They're dangerous. Alright, now and try and get this in. Okay, it's, look, you could use hot glue. Washi tape is a good temporary thing, and that is wedged in much better, so yeah. Alright, I feel like I'm half winning now. Alright, I'm going to refresh my blue tack by just squishing it in the groove and hope that it's got enough tack. That will be for multi-placing big stuff. Alright, now if you've seen, I leave these out. I leave it handy so I know what I'm working on, otherwise I'd get lost and yeah, forget which drills I'm doing. And then when I put them back into my storage bag, I actually put them back half in so that I know which colours I've used and which ones I haven't. And yeah, because invariably you got to put them away and then you go, oh, there's a drill on the field that I missed. Because it always happens. If you've been diamond painting for any length of time, you will have discovered this by now, because you look at the thing and you go, no, I've got them all, I've got them all. Put them away, and then you take out the next colour and then you see where you missed. And it's just like, so frustrating. Yes. So anyway, how have you been? I have been keeping an eye on some of the weather, or some of the weather reports from other creators and friends, and holy cow, it's all happening. There's unbelievable temperatures getting reported from North Dakota. It's like, how is that even possible to get that cold? And it was, look, it was this time last year, I remember. hearing same ludicrous temperatures, and I think it was this time last year that we had same ludicrous temperatures down here, and bushfires and everything else happening in Australia. So
it's the beginning of the end.
Yeah, it is the beginning of the end. It's happening later and later in the year, and yeah, we're all gonna die. No, hopefully not.
I'll die of old age before we'll die.
Well, we have been watching Jurassic Park. Sorry, I've got an itchy nose. We've been watching Jurassic Park. We watched Fallen World and the original last week, just because I wanted to watch some dinosaurs. And yeah, it's like we're all doomed. Oh my goodness. I need some fresh wax in this, I think. Or blue tack. I don't use wax. Now, if you happen to watch, well, it started with Sherry, but if you happen to watch other people doing the wax challenge, I'm not interested. I use blue tack because I use blue tack. I'm happy with blue tack. I have tried paddy wax. I have tried and failed with paddy wax. I haven't tried Laura's Wee Wax because of cost, and it's similar to paddy wax, and I'm just not interested. Never tried the super sticky paddy wax, again because of cost, and she sold out so fast, and it's just not worth my while buying one and paying $20 odd for shipping. So I haven't availed of those. Tried the original wax that you get with the diamond painting for my first one, and then went, screw this for a hobby. Was not impressed with the red wax, so ditched that really quickly and never went back to it again. So I've got a stack of wax that I don't use. If anyone wants any wax and you're in Australia, hit me up. It's not candle wax. No, it's sticky. Anyway, he's been using wax to polish his ball valve. Yeah. He's been printing like it's going out of fashion to make a vacuum system downstairs. And yes, he's been polishing his ball. Yeah. I know, of course it did. Oh god, he's coming to show this monstrosity.
Wave that underneath the camera, just so that you can see that it's a ball
look,
valve.
This is what he's did. This is the ball valve bit, right? He's polished it, right? That's not supposed to happen like that. It doesn't turn like that when it's printed. He's been polishing his knobs
And my balls.
and his balls, and oh god, he's been sanding them back, and then he went and bought paraffin. Then he worked out that it might be kerosene. Then he's rubbed in some candle wax into it, and it's smooth and will turn on, you know, with no resistance whatsoever. It's brilliant. Anyway, that's for his workshop. He wants to set up downstairs to be able to suck the sawdust out of the garage, basically, into a bin while he's using woodworking tools. So yes, he's been busy playing with valves and creating where it's going to go and how it's going to be fitted and all of that kind of jazz down in the garage workshop area. Boys and their toys, that's all I can say. Boys and their toys. What? You don't have shoes and socks on, please stay inside. It's hot outside. It's hot today. There's very little breeze. No, there's no breeze actually. So it feels as hot as it is. It actually, yes, it's a lovely day. Dear. No, she doesn't have her shoes on. Her feet are going to get hot because the deck is hot and children.
It's not Hawaii hot.
No, it's not Hawaii hot.
It's a nice warm day.
Yeah. Actually, it probably is Hawaii hot. It's 20 odd degrees. I think it was supposed to get up to 24 degrees C, which I think is somewhere in the 60s, 70s in Fahrenheit. I don't know. I don't do the conversion. I don't know what the maths are.
Oh gosh, then why?
So to be accurate, no, I'm not going to be accurate.
Okay, Google.
See, and now he's going to act.
24 Celsius to Fahrenheit.
24 degrees Celsius is equal to 75.2 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, 75. See, I didn't want to do that to set all your Googles off.
Well,
And we don't have the other chick in the lounge.
well, you have to bleep it.
I'm not going to bleep it. I don't care if they if all their Googles go. Blah, blah. You know, we've been watching movies and Google goes off. And they haven't even asked anything. It's like, what the? Yeah, sometimes she just chirps in. She's always listening. Watch what you say in front of her. And then we've got this silly bitch in the car, Karen, as I call her, who keeps telling us to slow down, drive to the conditions. Ah, dear. Wait until I tell you about our road trip this week. Because it was a road trip rather than a waterfall trip. We did a waterfall, but the waterfall was... it was supposed to be a 10-minute walk in, and it actually felt more like 5. Then on the particular road that we were on, she keeps on chirping. Drive to the conditions, drive to the road conditions. And he was. Like, the road conditions, as far as we know, said it was 100 kilometers per hour zone. And he was driving at something like 55, 60. And she still kept chirping at him. And, okay, the bends were horrific. There's no way you'd want to drive at 100 on this road. But yeah, Karen kept interfering. And it's because it's the snarky criticism, like you're driving too fast, you're crossing the center line without indicating, those kind of, you're entering a school zone kind of thing. And we actually live next to what used to be a school, but is no longer a school, hasn't been a school for years, and she keeps telling us it's a school zone because for some unknown reason there's still a phone number attached to the school in existence. And we keep telling the base map, the school is no longer in existence, can you tell it to piss off? And Google have listened because I'm a Google guide, and I don't know if they've listened because I'm a guide or they've just listened because it's Google. And they have removed the number from there, but the base map I think still has it on. It's really frustrating that they won't remove it, so grumble grumble. So she keeps telling us it's a school zone. It's not a school zone because we live here and we know. So we can't turn it off because if we go somewhere that we don't know that this is a school zone. So we need to be aware of these warnings. Karen.
No offense to
I apologize to any real Karen out there. Unfortunately, you've just been lumped in with the whole snarky crowd. I don't know. Was there actually a Karen in the first place? Was she a Karen? I don't know. Dear. It's a bit bad. So yeah, it's been a week. What has happened? I can't remember what has happened this week. So I'm probably going to be all jumbled up. What? I don't know where you... Oh, I put it up by the... where you put your shoes. No, in the hall, Sophie. In the hall. Yeah, where your shoes live, in the hall. Now, I was going to warn you when... because I was working on this upside down last week. If you're... Yes, near the kitchen. If you are working on this upside down, turn your container in the orientation of the canvas to make sure that you've got it the right way around. This is upright, so it doesn't make any difference. But if it is, because there's a couple of different triangles, and here's the two in different orientations. Okay, so it's easy enough to mix them up. So don't do that, you will be sad. Yeah, see? Don't get sad. Sophie will get sad. Okay. See, I have been busy stitching. I've been busy recording. I have done some diamond painting during the week. I have done a morning back at work. I've been hearing about people over in the States getting ready for tax time, and I'm kind of beginning to get my head around all of that. It's not tax time for us in Australia until the end of June. But fair point on this is, you know, as a monetized creator, having to think, okay, well, I need to work out income, expenditure, and all of that kind of thing. And yeah, it's a bit like Cal mentioned on her Whip and Chat. When you're spending more on your craft than you are earning, you know, it's a good thing initially, sort of, because, you know, you're not paying anything on it. But in the long run, hopefully you start earning more than you spend, and you start actually getting an income from, you know, your hobby.
So your husband can have more beer.
So my, what? No. So that I can have more donuts. Not gonna happen either. Do you hear him laughing like that? That's just mean. Dear. Yeah, he thinks he needs more beer. No, he doesn't need more beer.
No,
He can
it's
3D
just
print.
currency.
Yeah. Oh, it's a standard currency, right? You see, he's actually told me I now need to go and buy my own 3D printer for my 3D stuff.
I'll still
So he'll print it for me. See, there's two different symbols here. In her face, the freckles are actually...
remind you, what is my printer? What is my printer doing right now?
yeah, his printer right now is printing me a vase to go with my Valentine's rose. So he prints me a rose, or has printed me a rose ever since he got his 3D printer. So I only have 2 others, maybe the prototypes I've seen knocking around. So he's printed me a rose, and I'll show it to you as soon as I can. In a flexible filament this time around, so it's got a bit of squish and give, and yeah, and then he toasted a petal. It melted. She's got rosy lips. Oh, and there's more. I'm just gonna have to... Here's the rose. Right, so you can see how it's kind of extra shiny in the center. That's because he toasted it a bit and it's kind of annealed, but that's not flexible. This is a little bit of flex in it, and these are squishy. But this is the 3D rose that he did. I see these little ones kind of snapped off, but there's, you know, one of the other roses. You know, it's pretty simple as a 3D print, but it's all kinds of cute, and they're not going to die. More importantly, they're not going to die, because there's nothing worse than getting a rose that looks pretty, doesn't smell, because, you know, red roses don't smell these days, because they're built for fancy rather than smell like the old English roses. Yes, so they don't smell, and they die in, I don't know, feels like a couple of days. So I've got my roses still here from the other years. I can hear her out. She's managed to work out how to open the screen door. Hang on, she's left this door open. So she's managed to open the screen door in the kitchen. So if that's not double kind of closed with the inside door, she can get out. And she can manage to open the downstairs gate that leads onto the driveway, which then leads onto the road. So we have to kind of keep an ear out for her whenever she's outside on her own. She's usually pretty good at responding when we call her to check in on her, but not always. But yeah, Marcus has found her out on the road or in the driveway once and went, she's done this. And now I've actually seen her then. Yesterday I was putting the car seat back into the car because we were coming down a road and the umbrella had got loose. So the umbrella's flying around the boot and hitting things because it's round, and it's driving me bonkers. And the seat keeps on going clunk, clunk, clunk. And I don't know if when the car was serviced, I don't think they took it out. I don't think they moved it. But it seemed to be ever since then it was kind of looser than it maybe, or because we had the car in for a service and it was getting swapped with the other car, that it just wasn't put in quite as tight. So anyway, yesterday I was jack of it. So I put it in with over-tightened straps and everything else, and now I don't think it's going to budge. So and both of the triggers on the side, because it's one of this particular lock on these car seats, it goes into the metal bars rather than using the seatbelt. Anyway, it's got the little green lights properly on it now, whereas before it hadn't. Even when it was professionally installed, it didn't have those permanently showing green. It was showing half red and half green. Anyway, now it's showing all green. So yeah, the trick seems to be tighten it within an inch of its life without it being locked in, then lock it in, and you know, if you need to get a big person to lean on the seat to get it locked in, and then it's got the top. I don't know if the seats are the same over in the States, but we have so we've got those low anchors that are actually built into the car, that you have these two kind of ISOFIX, one of those. So we've got two of those on each side of the seat, and a lot of the cars here now have the ISOFIX fittings, and they go back quite a ways date-wise. So they have the ISOFIX fittings down the bottom, and then they have the strap that goes over the back of the seat or up into the ceiling for the top of the seat, so it's fully anchored and it doesn't slop around or anything. Like back when my kids were first young, the first lot, you know, the 20-plus-year-old adults now, the first brood, yes. When they were in car seats, you used to put them in with the seat belt. There wasn't a base that they locked into or anything. The safety was just not there the way it is now. And you're not allowed to use a car seat more than 10 years old these days. If it gets to 10 years, you got to turf it. Because the...
still using a seat after 10 years, you have to worry about the size of the child.
Yeah, well, up until the age of 7, they've got to be in a booster. And after they get to a certain height. And after that, then... it can be an option. So depending on the size of your kid, you might want to keep it in a booster because the seat belts don't reach, or you know, they're not able to see out the window or whatever. Sophie! I can't hear her chattering away. So yeah, I had my first day back. Actually, I'm going to do the neck. I know it's a little bit under the chin, but yeah. I went back in to have my first day at work last week. Got in there, and I don't know, I was out of sorts, and because I was a bit out of sorts, I was probably self-conscious of who was saying what to wear and all that kind of thing, and some people said hi and others didn't, and it was just like, oh, God, you know, really feeling the love. You know, I haven't been in work for 4 months, you know, and just trying to get back into the swing of things. So yeah, it was a bit weird, a bit awkward. The girl I share an office with can be, well, frankly, she can be a bit of a moody girl, just like I can. You know, I'm not making any kind of assertions there. Oops. But she barely chatted with me, and yes, she could be that she was trying to concentrate on her work at the time, but it was kind of like, geez, I haven't seen you for months and you're not really making me, you know, feel like you want me in the same room as you, kind of, you know how you get touchy like that? Yeah. Actually, don't have many here, So I'm going to get these in. So yeah, it was like, oh, and then I needed to just get out, go for a walk. I had been standing, I had been sitting, and I was beginning to kind of get a bit sore and stuff. So I went out for a walk, did a walk of the block. Didn't really want a coffee, but got a hot chocolate, and went back to the office and got stuck in again, and yeah, that was that. So back again tomorrow morning. Yeah, it'd be nice to kind of get used to the routine again and all of that kind of thing, although I think I would much prefer to be able to have this as a job, as you do, I suppose. You know, it's a bit like playing in comparison. It's not, you really have to put the work in to your channel, but you know, unless I get people kind of backing me financially, then it's not going to happen. So I'll keep going with the full-time job. I've just had it. Oh, toilet paper fell off. It's the thing that holds the canvas. I was like, yeah, it was like having a, what was it? Chicken licking. The sky is falling. Yeah, it was a bit like that kind of. Where? What? Yeah. So this weekend we went for a drive. Actually, during the week, you know how I've kind of talked about the kid, and well, there's the whole learning to shut up, and anyway, I thought I did better this week. Apparently not. Haven't really discussed it because yesterday I was too tired to discuss it, and didn't want to feel like I was being attacked either, just because where my head was at with work, and it was just like, no, this is too much, so I'm not going to discuss it. But I think it's just where the two differing parenting styles come in, you know. And you know how when you were a teenager, probably in particular, you could pick on your siblings and call them all the names. Close the door, Sophie. Call them all the names under the sun, right? And you'd, you know, be mean, and you'd bully, and, you know, you'd do all that kind of jibing and stuff, but so heaven help anybody else if they tried it. It kind of feels a little bit like that. So I'm kind of seeing him do the berating, and I had incorrectly stepped in as well in the past. And yeah, so I kind of overstepped my mark, thinking that it was okay for me to do so, and it's not. And I'm having to learn now to try and back off and let him do his parenting. Sophie, please come and close this door. Close the slide, please. Oh, she's gone again. The flies around are a pain, and of course you open the door and they come in. So then we end up fly spraying everything, and it's like, ugh, yeah, dying. So fly screens need to be closed. Anyway, so yeah, I had overstepped my mark, so I'm trying to find where my mark now is, and it's easier said than done. Me, you know, having an opinion, backing off, and you know, to the point where I knew she hadn't made her lunch one day during the week. I'm kind of thinking, consequences. And what would the consequences be? Well, she's got time to make it in the morning, probably. And if she doesn't make it in the morning, then she'll get given lunch at school. And I'm kind of thinking, yeah, doesn't feel like any actual consequence there. And anyway, I've got to get over some of that. And so yeah, I'd said nothing, and could hear her making lunch then the following morning, you know. But whether or not it clicked, it certainly didn't happen again during the week, but whether or not it clicked that, oh shoot, you know, routine, have to do blah blah. And it's, you know, the first week with us in school, whereas she was with Mom the first week in school. So yeah, just give me a quick second. There's a white in with this. I think I'll put it in 3. It's not an AB, but it'll do. Where am I? So yeah, there's the whole, you know, I don't know. There's always an out for consequences, isn't there? You know, you go to school with no lunch, the teacher will give you a lunch. The lunch that the teacher might give you might be even more fun than the lunch that you have made. So you'll do it again, won't you? Yeah, I don't know. It's like, there never really seems to be any kind of actual consequence anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a grumpy old sour woman. Don't agree with me, please. I'm like, yeah, I feel a little bit Victor Meldrew kind of thing. Whereas the result should be, well, fuck you. You can go hungry. Kind of. When that defeats the purpose, doesn't it? Yeah, I know. You know, when Grace gets involved, I don't mean a person. When Grace gets involved, I don't know. Consequences don't seem to have the same effects. You know, because you'd want somebody to be gracious and say, oh, you don't have your lunch. Right, well, here's an out. You would want the grace shown to you for stuffing up. You know, wouldn't you? I know I would. Anyway, there's my, I don't know, dilemma for the day. Yeah. So, yeah, I tried, and I tried making, you know, the first night she's here is what we call burger night. Marcus makes the burgers, the meat patties, and I assemble them on the Friday night and turn them into, you know, cafe burgers. And she has been picky, and she's been, don't like this, and she'll pull out the bacon, even though she'll say, oh yeah, I like bacon, you know, oh yummy, and then she won't eat the damn thing, and it's like, oh fine, screw you. So I think this Friday she ended up getting a burger patty and cheese, and that was it in her bun, and she ate it, not a problem. In fact, she ate it so fucking fast she beat me, because I was more preoccupied with getting Sophie to try and eat as well. So she's all kind of bragging about that. And then the next night, I think she beat me with pizza. Because again, I'm fussing with Sophie to try and get her to eat. First freaking time in I don't know how long that she's actually put the foot down. And this was because the TV wasn't on. Put the TV on and she's like, distracted straight away. And I know people are going to say, don't put the TV on. But then the rest of us are punished because she still takes an age to eat. And it's like, grumble. Yeah. But on the first night she's here, it sets the back teeth on edge. And it's like, oh, I hate this. So yeah, I made her a simple burger the first night and that went okay. But then the next morning, the vacuuming turned into a complete debacle. And it was just like, oh my god. And you probably heard about that already. So I'm not going to go into it. And then you had the vlog, because I had to get out. And yeah, it was just, no, my head. I'm going to kill someone. So I vacated the premises. Went for a gorgeous walk with Mocha. And saw a couple of wallabies. Don't think I caught any on camera for you guys. I did try. I mean, there is one that was standing there. And I looked at the photo and I went, I can barely see where the thing is. I don't know if any of you guys actually spotted the wallaby. But then I put the box around it and you might have been able to make out, oh yeah, that's a wallaby. And when I was saying, when I was sitting at the park bench, oh, there's some wallabies just gone left to right, bounding across the screen. I don't know if you could make them out either. Because they were off in the distance, but yeah. So yeah, anyway, I'll get on to our walk. We plan to drive. Marcus actually wants to head up the East Coast, and he's kind of going, well, we hadn't made a decision either on Friday. I think I was a bit jaded, to be honest. And he said, well, okay, let's go for fish and chips. So that means fishing out on the East Coast. So that's one destination. So I went looking on our waterfall site, Tasmanian Waterfalls. Waterfalls of Tasmania is actually what it's called if you want to go check it out. But I checked out the site and found a fall that was in the area that was showing on the map, and looked it up. There was a couple that were close that were hike level 5, like they're extreme, so it was like, okay, we're not going there. So I found this one, and it's a pacey little waterfall, 10-minute walk. Actually, the waterfall itself is fine, but it was a 10-minute walk. It was an easy stroll, and it was just like, okay, 2.5-hour drive to get there, or something. Which is like, yeah, it's knitting time. We didn't stop at my cafe on the way up because we were stopping for fish and chips, and that was okay because I didn't actually ask this time. It was just like, yeah, let's just go and we'll get there. And we go up, and I get to near the destination, and I've been knitting my Metamorph Magus shawl as I'm going, and then I realise, you know what, this section's supposed to have like vertical stripes showing, and I had been knitting what I thought was correct, and because I'm going work yarn in back is the instruction, or work yarn in front, and I kind of went, yeah, that the yarn is in the front or the yarn is in the back, and yeah, I completely misinterpreted that instruction, and it turns out I'm missing a drill color, sorry. It turns out that what you actually needed to do, hey, that's a C. I think was there a C? Poop. Okay, I'll put it back in the C's. Anyway, it turns out the slip stitch is what needed to be at the back or at the front. So in one orientation it's correct, and in the other one you actually have to move the working yarn behind it. So of course I'd stuffed that up for 10 rows, 12 rows even, so I had to rip it back. Well, by the time we're ripping it back, what did I do? So we've done the walk, so let me tell you about the walk. So it's a short little walk. We get to this tiny little turnaround called Grey Mare's Trail. Now the trail is actually the walk. It's not, it gave me the impression it was actually a gravel road like for cars, and then there was the trail. No, it's a car park off the highway road, well, not highway, but off the main road. So we pull into this car park. There's a huge yucky, muddy, sludgy puddle next to us. It was all kinds of stinky and swampy, and then we see these chickens just hovering around. So there's a bunch of escaped lunatics. The people have probably dumped the roosters, and then they've found some girls, they've shacked up with them, shagged to their heart's content, and there was a broody hen sitting down. I thought, oh yay, she's sitting on eggs, let's go pet them, kind of. Yeah. Anyway, she wasn't sitting on eggs, she was sitting on 3 youngsters, you know, little, I don't know, 4-week-olds maybe, 4 or 5-week-old chicks. So she goes trotting off onto the grass, and there's a whole bunch of others that are sitting there. So Sophie and I go, you know, chasing chooks, as you do, because, you know, why not? Yeah. So we go chasing the chooks into the swampy bit, and yeah, didn't catch any of the chooks. They all walk off, which is fine. But they're gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful plumage on the roosters, and, you know, gorgeous colours. And they go off. So we decided to get going on the walk. Had Hadn't sprayed because it was only a 10-minute walk. Didn't really think about it, to be honest. So I hadn't mozzie sprayed or fly sprayed or anything. Marcus didn't even change his shoes, which he has been doing for any of the other walks that we've done. And we start off on this trail. This is a trail. Seriously, it's in the middle of nothing. Okay? There is more infrastructure, no toilets. There's been more infrastructure and work put into this trail than I've seen on any of the other walks we have done. Most of them, anyway. Sorry, my phone's going nuts with Black Needle Society people. So just ignore the tweedling. So this has been raised up on the edges and it's been gravelled the whole walk. It's really, really nice. There's a couple of, you know, dog legs where a tree gets in the way of the path and it goes around and that kind of thing. And we are doing her lips and a freckle, I think. Anyway, so I'm gonna find more seeds. Excusey. Put that back. Her nose. Is this the one where she's got a funky nose? No, her nose is okay. There's one of them where the girl's nose is a bit pig-like. That needs changing. Anyway, so yeah, we're walking along this well-formed track. Sophie has slept most of the way up, actually, so she's full of beans. And she just takes off running down the track. Now, we don't know where this track is going. Some of the tracks we have done, there is no fencing or anything on any drop-offs, and it just falls away. So we're kind of like, she's got out of our sight. Sophie, stop. And she thinks she's being punished, so she crouches down and kind of, you know, she huddles up into a little ball. It's quite cute, but tragic. I don't know. Anyway. So she crouches down, we catch up with her, we do the walk, and we get to hear the waterfall now. What? Yes, it got wet in the rain. Yeah. Okay. You go fix it. Yeah, see if you can fix it. Okay, bye. So we get down. It's like a 5-10 minute walk. Everything is kind of damp in the area. It has been raining for a couple of previous days, but we get to a gully that we cross over on a bridge, and it's bone dry, and you couldn't hear the river at this stage. And it's like, this might not be anything at all at the other end. Well, we keep going, and over in... So we come out on the side of a valley, and then over in the gully is this sheer cliff, and the waterfall is just spilling off it, and it looks like a grey mare's tail. It looks like a white tail waterfall. It's beautiful. Where it's worn is all slick and shiny, and you could see that if it was a really heavy rain, you know, how more of the... Sophie, door. Sophie, door. And your shoes are on the wrong feet. Shoes. She keeps on putting her shoes on the wrong feet. Sometimes she's fine, and I don't know, I thought we had nailed what the issue was. Anyway, she's doing it again. So yeah, get to the end, take a couple of pictures, and like, it was such a short walk, I wasn't really taking pictures going in. I stopped to take a picture of this gorgeous little purple star flower, and as I'm taking the picture and taking my time trying to get this thing to focus, because it's tiny, it's less than 1 centimeter across, and a mosquito hovers on and bites me here, so you can see it's a little bit red because my mozzie repellent Marcus had left me. So I'm getting bitten by the damn things. And the problem is they itch for days. So it's really itchy today. So I've taken an antihistamine. I've put an antihistamine in my pills to take tomorrow because it'll be itchy when I'm at work. And it's just like, oh, these bastards. Yeah. Should have put fly spray on. Just didn't think. So anyway, I did get my picture of my pretty little purple flower. Marcus took a panorama photo and it was just gorgeous. Really, really nice. But seriously, the middle of nothing. And gorgeous path. I think he took a picture of, or video, something like 6 seconds of Sophie tearing ahead of him. Yeah, she was just on fire. I think I was going to leave the ABs till the end, just because, you know, they're a bit of bling. But let's get her nose out of the way. And have I forgotten the T? I have. I've ignored the nose in the center. Oh, no? T, 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 the upside down T. I thought I had pulled it out. Yes, I had. It's just been pushed down a little bit. Okay. I don't know why I ignored the center. And have I missed the pluses? Jeez Louise. Yeah, missed the pluses. The center of the picture. It's ridiculous. Let's see. Nose. So yeah, that was it. The walk was over in, I don't know, 15 minutes. Got back and it's all swampy and stinky back at the car park again. And we take off. Now, the road that we're on is called St. Mary's Pass, I think. Or Elephant Pass is what it's called. I do not know how the name has come about. It's kind of like Hannibal with the elephants kind of land. It's hilly and... Okay, put it on the kitchen. Or put it on your table. Right. Yes. And close the door. Please. Close the fly screen, Sophie. Close the screen door. No, outside. Oh. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Don't do anything. Close the door, please. Close the door. Close the door now. Good girl. Bye, Sophie. No, that's fine. That's fine. You're done. Yeah. That's the screen door. Thank you. Leave it. It's good. It's good. So yeah, we finished and we're going down St. Mary's Pass. Now St. Mary's Pass, or Elephant Pass even, used to have a pancake cafe. I think it's closed because of COVID, because they haven't been able to open. So the place is for sale and it looked like it was closed when we went past, which is really disappointing. It was famous for its pancakes. That's all they sold in there, were sweet and savory pancakes, various fillings and all that kind of jazz. So very sad to see that kind of iconic thing gone. It actually had an elephant on the logo with a bicycle or a motorbike, because this cafe, because it was on the twisty road, was a mecca for the bikes doing day trips to go for a blast up the road, do the curves, and it was just brilliant. So anyway, we're coming down this twisty road and Marcus is getting yelled at by Karen to tell him to slow down, but the speed limit on the road says it's 100 and he's doing like 60, because there's some hairpin bends, there's some quite serious steep bends. And so she's, you know, slow down, and he's going, I don't know what she's going on about, because street limit, the car is saying it's 100, but she's still going off her chops saying slow down. So yeah, anyway, don't know what was going on with that. And I'm trying to pick up my stitches now, because I'd ripped it out at the car park. Trying to pick up all my stitches. So I'm focused on my stitches. I'm not looking up, and I'm going, I'm feeling really, really unwell. I'm getting the sweats and I'm getting the headache. And suddenly from the back here, this unmerciful screaming from Sophie, going, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." And she's screaming her head off at us, and I'm turning and I go, "Stop the car, stop the car." So Marcus pulls over as soon as he can, which is pretty quick. And I take her out of the car thinking she's going to be sick. She hasn't already been sick, but I thought I could smell vomit when I went back to her. And she hasn't been sick, so she's just yelling and yelling. And he had been previously playing with the economy of the car, trying to get it below 6 litres per 100k kind of usage and that kind of thing. And we take the break. Sophie is standing next to the car, getting some fresh air, just looking around, having a bit of a drink. And then she's kind of going, "Okay, I'm okay, I'm fine." And, you know, we get back in and we start driving again. Well, then she kicks off a second time, screaming, going, "My tummy, my tummy." You know, the other kid, the previous couple of weeks when we did the drive, spewed in her hands before she even told us that she was feeling unwell. Sophie's screaming in the back. She's not feeling well. So marked difference between the two of them that Marcus commented on, not me. And yeah, so she's letting us know she's not well. And I said, "You know what? I wasn't feeling well on that stretch of road either. It could be because you've got the air conditioning off." Because the car started fogging up at one point because it was getting so warm out. And it was like, oh, okay, well, we'll put the air conditioning on and we'll see if that improves. It seemed to. What the heck is with that? So, yeah, having the air conditioning on helps with the car sickness. So it's not something that we normally have off. It was just today that we had, or yesterday that we had turned it off. So yeah, that might be a thing. We will keep an eye on that one. I've just noticed that I haven't got my E. E? Is it E? It is E. It is pink. Okay. So yeah, she was pretty spot on. So we stopped at the Gulch Fish and Chips again. I know it's an awesome name, the Gulch. It was windy as all hell. Too windy to sit out. We had our fish and chips. Sophie kept stealing all the chips, not eating brilliantly. So again, trying to challenge with that, and then it was just like, okay, let's just go. And we started driving back, and she settled down about after a while, had another sleep, and because she had been saying that she wanted to go to the park, she wanted to go to on the slide. This is because when we last went up there with the kid, with us, we stopped at the park, we had our fish and chips at the park, and they got to play on the slides and everything else. Well, the nearly 3-year-old is remembering all of this, putting 2 and 2 together and going, "I want to go to the park and to the slide." And we're both kind of going, "Say what?" That she can even remember that. And, you know, what we kind of think is, you know, a complex thinking pattern of, I know this road and I know this road has a park on it, and just putting it all together, and it's just like, oh my God. You know, oh, she's just completely blows our minds. Listen, parents, do your toddlers do this? I don't remember mine ever doing this. You know, my previous ever doing it. Marcus certainly doesn't remember his doing it, and that's more recent past. It's just, I don't know, she constantly blows our minds, this kid. She's all kinds of cool, but then we're biased. So she's asleep for the park, and I'm chatting with Marcus and kind of saying, you know, it's still 2 hours until we're home. I'm jack of this. It was too long a drive. And it kind of was. We hadn't done too many of those walks in the past. We've done, I think, the 3 waterfalls up there. And it was when my back was nerve painy, so it was pretty much, the routine there was long drive, short walk. Well, now the long drive is just too long, I think, and I was bored and wasn't feeling well. The car sick spell didn't really help. I was headachy, and it was kind of like I just wanted to get home, and 5 o'clock was too late to be getting home. I think it was ended up at 5:45 when we got in the door. Marcus then had to make pizza. He was tired, and you know, it was, and then we forgot pizza cheese. I had to go out and get the pizza cheese for the pizza, and yeah, we were just, it was just too much. So yeah, we'll work our walk out maybe a bit better. We're going to have to widen our search from just waterfall walks though, because it really does limit us. We can't do grade 4-5 walks. They're just too strenuous for parents with toddlers, I think. And it means being much more prepared, day packs, all of that kind of jazz. And yeah, pass. It's okay. I've got friends who do them all the time. I've got friends who do overnight hikes and all that kind of jazz. I'm not going to do that. I'm not a scout anymore. You know, I'm not an active scout anymore. So, yeah, I'm okay with not doing it. But it does kind of limit what's within day trip area. You know, we don't want to spend a fortune doing these. You know, he's quite happy doing the drive, but I think the drive was even too much for him. So, yeah, we'll work it out. We'll get something sorted. There are lots of walks on Mount Wellington that don't include waterfalls, so it's not like we couldn't go on a walk or anything and get a bit active. And you know, and sure, as my fitness gets up, I might do more, but I'm still going to be tempered by what he can do or what Sophie can do. Now granted, Sophie's getting older, so she's going to be more able, but I still want it to be enjoyable and not hard work and all that kind of thing. So yeah, we've just got to, you know, take everything into consideration. And what's the thing that I used to get told as a scout is, you're only as strong as your weakest person. So you know, if Sophie can't do the walk and Marcus ends up carrying her, he's got, you know, okay, she's only a little thing, 10 kilos on her, but you know, he doesn't walk brilliantly because he has all kinds of aches, pains and everything else, so he needs to be comfortable. I want him to be comfortable. I don't want him doing an activity that ends up having him, you know, sore and grumpy and miserable either. So yeah, I'm trying to find the happy medium for all of us. Yeah, and going purely to spend money is not really our thing either, because we're a single income family, and you know, we do need to be conscious of budget and stuff. So as he said, you know, spending, I think he said it was $50 for the fish and chips yesterday, and just kind of doing that kind of cost appraisal, you know, it's kind of like, yeah, it's worth it, but we don't go out like I used to go out with my ex. That is a yucky drill. Because of the single income. You know, it's just a fact of life. You know, when you've got a budget, you have to be mindful of your budget. So, yeah. There's that. And we can't stay overnight. We've got pets and just logistics. You know, it's just normal family kind of logistics. And I don't want to lose a whole day sitting in the car when I'm working now 5 days a week. It was nice when I wasn't working to waste a day in the car, but now that I'm working, it's kind of like, you're cutting into my filming time, or you're cutting into my crafting time, or you're cutting into my just take a damn break time, you know, switch the brain off a bit. So yeah, there's that. You know, so yeah, that's that's kind of where we're at. Now, I got a notification from Amazon during the week. Cora Seaton had written her book 10 in my Seal series. And it was so nice to get back to the characters. It's the 10th Seal that needs to get married, and of course there's always bits of twists in the tale. We've just met the reason why he couldn't commit to it before, and yeah, the story starts to kind of explode from here. So yeah, I'm really kind of looking forward to that. I'm also reading The Restaurant. We're reading 5 chapters a week now, and it's so hard to put it down and not keep going. But because I'm back at work, technically I could keep going. I suppose because I won't be able to necessarily take part in the live chats to talk about who we like, who we don't like, and all of that kind of thing. But if you're interested and you want to catch up with that, that's Pamela Kelly's The Restaurant, and we're looking at doing Christmas at the Restaurant, which I think is the sequel to it, some other time, or I'm not sure how soon after doing this. This is with Ruby and Mindy. I'm not sure how soon they're talking about doing it. Having the book on Kindle means that you can buy it instantly and you can just, you know, have it there. Buying it on paperback, well, you might have to buy it off Amazon and wait for it to ship to you. I don't know if it's in your local bookstore or whatnot with that, but it's set in Nantucket. Sounds all kinds of amazing and idyllic, and I've seen it in movies, and the Nantucket Sound is just like, you know, pretty, and anyway, all kinds of cool. Where is she?
Bottom of the stairs, playing with a trowel.
Oh. Okie dokie.
Top of the stairs.
Oh, top of the... yeah. Here, door. Did you hear your name? Hello. I probably need to put a movie on for her soon, and that might conquer it out. So I'll get this finished, and yeah, then sit down with her. I'm on dinner today. I'm doing the roast. Sophie, door! Close it, please. So dinner today is a rib roast. So I think there are 2 bones on the piece that I've taken out, which it's a lot of weight. Now we get our roasts and we freeze them. We vacuum pack them and freeze them, and we make a note of the weight. Marcus is trying to get us to eat 150 grams of meat. No, leave it alone.
Not 150, 100.
100, sorry. 100 grams of meat. Leave it. Leave it. Later, yes. Sophie, leave it alone. So he's trying to, you know, ration
It's not a
and
hard,
kind of
fast
portion.
thing. It's just something I heard years ago. And,
Yeah, it's a CSIRO recommendation that you only eat 100 and whatever, or 100.
It was Auntie Emily that said that one.
Oh, jeez.
So there you go.
Right, well, I'm not... Yeah. 150 used to be my portion of choice for meat. And that's going on a Weight Watchers or CSIRO or something. Anyway, so it was a way to kind of limit the protein intake while our mobility... Sophie, shh! While our mobility was down and our activity was down. You know, as a kind of weight management thing. So this whole piece is like 700, but the bone is going to come out of it and it's going to bring it down. And it could be the kind of thing that I'll throw in with the salad or cold meats or something during the week if it's just too much.
Of course it'll be too much.
Grapes, Mummy, grapes.
Go and ask Daddy.
Oh, Daddy, grapes.
Ask Mummy.
I'm busy. Get stuffed.
Daddy, grapes.
Anyway. So yeah, we're, you know, kind of keeping an eye on that. So we've got salad. and steak for dinner. We haven't had carbs much at all. But do you think I'd lose weight? No! I think my body goes into starvation mode. And it just goes, oh, she's not feeding, so we're not going to lose weight. Anyway. Having the hot chocolate. And this is the thing I noticed before. When I had my major depression and I was losing weight, it was because I was living on a coffee or two. No, I was living on 6 coffees a day. It was a milky coffee, but I was living on coffee. And the milk actually gave you that fuller feeling. That meant that I wouldn't eat, you know, much more than, I don't know, a portion of crackers and a cheese kind of thing. I was eating a tiny amount of food, but I was losing weight quite quickly on that method. It's not necessarily a diet that I would recommend, that's the problem. And as soon as I kind of started eating again when I met Marcus, of course, it all went back on because I was eating normally. So it's trying to find that happy medium. Anyway, that's what I want to kind of get happening again. I would like to get some of the floppy bits off. And just maintain. I'm able to maintain, it's just, yeah, getting it to losing standard is the pain in the ass. Because it's, you know, you've got to make the deficit. You've got to either use more or eat less. And when you're feeling hungry all the time, and you're perimenopausal, or whatever they want to call premenopause few years, it's really hard to shift the freaking weight. And then you get told, oh, you're insulin resistant. And it's like, oh, so that makes it even harder, because if your body's not producing the insulin, and I don't understand all the hormones involved or anything else like this, all I know is I can eat and be hungry constantly and still not feel like I'm losing anything. I was like, yeah. But then when you're on Weight Watchers, they say, no, you've got to actually eat the minimum. Otherwise your body does think it's starving and it won't lose weight. Or you keep plateauing. Yay! So this is, it's just gone flying over here. The tray is probably 2 years old. And it's getting brittle, so be warned. So I've just squeezing that to rub something there and it's snapped. Plastic does get brittle. I don't think I have necessarily inflicted this on UV, and I will put super glue on that to restick it, but I have got 2 spares, or maybe 1 spare, I can't remember now. But they might equally be getting as brittle, so just be warned, your trays are not going to last. But that size is brilliant. I'll see how I go without the piece in operation. I just have 3 colours left, so I'm going to get the ABs. 2 of those. So her nose and her cheek, and that's it. And let's get the freckles out of the way. And then we'll go from there. So these are white ABs, 141. But it's just going to add the sparkly bits to her cheeks. Oh, she's got baby grapes and they're cute. You said it. Oh, the other thing that, you know, just remarking on the toddler's kind of sense of memory and everything else. I've been reading a story to her. I had been reading Noddy to her, and finished the Noddy. Was reading a chapter a night of Noddy, and You know, there were some pictures to follow along with, but the story that I've got at the moment, I actually had brought it up for another reason, and that didn't happen. And I started reading it to Sophie because we couldn't find the other naughty book that I knew we had. Turned out that it had been packed away. Yeah, I know, I found another naughty book. Anyway, she'd packed it away and we couldn't find it, so I couldn't read the next naughty book, which, you know, kind of worked, having a chapter a night. So I started reading her a book that I had bought when I was on a Christian camp as a 10, 11-year-old maybe. So I've had it in my collection for years. It's called Killer Dog, and I can't think of who wrote it. It's one of those, you know, skinny books. It's got some quite tricky words in it. So I'm reading her this story. It's got a few pictures scattered through the book, but really it's not a picture book, it's a story book. And I had read, you know, the previous chapters or whatever it was. And that night, went to read the book, and Sophie goes, "Oh, you're going to read the book about Joe and Sheba and blah blah," and it was like, oh, you've actually been paying attention to the story. It's not just a case of I'm reading to dead air and making myself yawn as I read, which is really weird. I don't understand that. But I've been reading this, and yeah, she's paying attention to the actual story. So yeah, there's that too. And she's been writing in books that she shouldn't be writing in, but she's got her pen and her notebook, and she makes constant notes. And we were noticing how she's been doing these little kind of circles on the page as she's writing her note. Like, she'll actually be saying, "Oh, I'm writing down such and such," and she'll do this little squiggle, and she's actually doing quite a fine squiggle on the page, like almost the same size as the letters in the book.
And in a line.
And in a line, and it seems to make some kind of sense. And we're both kind of going,
That's quite, yes,
dexterous.
Quite fine.
Yeah, and Marcus is going, I don't think any kid her age would be doing anything quite so fine motor skilled. You know, they'd be using chunky pens or chunky pencils or crayons or...
Crayons at that age.
Well, she's using a pen and she's doing these little
Fine
character
not
squiggles.
just circles.
Mm.
Yeah. It's just the dexterity.
It's just watching her with the pen and the notebook, and she looks like the journalist of Harry Potter with the quill, you know.
Some sort of investigator that's going to
yeah.
taking notes for our...
And she's got the police notebook, you know. Yeah, taking notes. I've been watching Midsummer Murders, and oh god, that's such a terrible show. They don't do any interviewing, and they find it all out in the field, and it's just like, ah! It's just... Oh. Yeah, but I don't know if they take notes. Like, yeah, that's my late night viewing, Midsummer Murders. I nearly finished series 19. I haven't been watching all of them in between that, but 16, 17, 18 and 19 are on ABC iView, which is like a demand, free to air, on demand kind of thing. Yeah. Alright, let's get this pink face done and I'll let you go. So I'm finger over the gap, and when I'm finished I'll retire this. I don't know, because it's been patched here, then it cracked along one of the edges there, and it was just like, no, I think it's, yeah. With that last snap, I think it's toast. Sophie, close the door. Thank you. I'm sticking. Actually, let's work from the bottom up. That way I'm only going to be resting on what's been done. Now, the only problem with doing this with such a large multi-placer is you empty your tray really fast.
I don't need to say it.
You, okay. No, you close that door, Sophie. Close it.
Fine.
Thank you.
Just stay.
Close the door or you will not go out.
I like you to out.
Then close the door.
A door. A door, Mummy.
No, not that one. Leave that one.
Okay.
Thank you. Sophie?
Later. Mummy,
Yeah, we close that one later.
Mummy, later.
Yeah, when it gets cold, we'll close that one.
Close. Cold, Mummy. I'm cold.
You're cold.
Yes, I'm cold.
Okay.
Mummy, not sad, Mummy. I'm not sad.
This is a 13 placer, by the way. And if there's a gap, I'll just slide the whole placer to get the line that I need. But some of these gaps are not 13 long. They're more like 10. So I'll swap it for another. I'll see what I've got loaded. Oops. And yeah, we'll kind of go from there. So that's 13. That whole line was 13. But yeah, when you've got the odd drill pointing the wrong direction, it stuffs up your pretty placements. So I'm going to, oh goodness. I'm going to just rock it a little bit just to try and get it in. And get them all kind of even. So I think I've got a bit of a space, so I'm going to slide just a smidge. Alright. Now there's 2 that I need. I've just put 2 onto it there. It's starting to ooze out the side, so it's sticking on the side, which is a pain. So you've got to kind of manipulate the wax back in. And you really don't need a heavy touch with multi-placing. You know, a light touch is almost better. But sometimes the big heads, if they're too big, can be a bit cumbersome. Oh, that corner is right in the wrong spot, missing. Yeah, so Marcus wants me to get a 3D printer so that I can print stuff that I want to sell in the store, because I just haven't been able to get a hold of him to sacrifice his printing time, because he keeps coming up with stuff, as, you know, boys do. Ah, none of these are long enough. Okay, so I'm going to have to put some down, and there's 4. That'll do. Alright, that's too long. This one is a 6. This one is...
I can say with absolute certainty that that table saw can never cut a straight line.
Oh.
I mean a square line. But it will now.
Right, I was going to say, okay. He put...
Yeah, that wasn't really...
Right. Yeah, he was putting his table saw together today. One of those purchases that he had made. $60. That he reckons that's a bargain. For a table saw that he can now start making my bookshelves, which are to go into the hall, which are to take all my books out of the garage, which frees up some space down there for us to be able to put things away.
So for me to have a workshop.
So he can have a workshop. So it's all knock-on effect.
Where's my shoe?
It's crazy.
Where's my shoe, Mummy?
Don't care.
Where's my shoe?
I thought I was going to need it for my manometer.
Where's my shoe?
For your what?
Manometer.
What's a manometer?
Measuring pressure.
Oh.
Nice big pretty display.
Yes, he wants to measure the pressure now in the vacuum system to make sure that it's actually sucking air or something.
Yeah, okay, look, let's just say I get a dead rat that goes in there and I'm not getting as much suck as I like. I can flick on my manometer and go, oh yes, there's actually 2 dead rats in there.
Hmm.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi, Sophie.
No feet. No feet.
Are they not on the wrong feet? Yes, they are. They're on the wrong feet. They're on the wrong feet. They're the wrong feet. Get Daddy to show you the right feet. Oh, she was funny in the car yesterday. We kept on saying that we were turning right and turning left, and then she was going, turn left, turn left. I was like, no, we're turning right. Funny playing the left and the right game. Sophie, fix your shoes. And she doesn't know the names of colours properly, so she'll keep calling things by the wrong colours. Don't know what way her brain is working.
Wrong way. Go back and turn left. Go, turn right.
And she's counting. When I give her Smarties, she'll ask me for chocolate because they're in the desk. I'll count and tell her, you know, how many have you got, and she's got to count them. So she's been doing that, and she's kind of consistently kind of getting to 4 properly now. You know, it's all those kind of occasional lessons that you throw in. But that's the other thing. I kind of like being the earning parent. The last time I parented at home, you know, was 15 plus years ago. I was the stay-at-home parent, whereas Marcus is stay-at-home parent now, and I, you know, did everything with the kids, with the, you know, walking everywhere. We didn't have a car that I could use, so I was walking everywhere, walking them to play school or playgroup or whatever. And, you know, there'd be the lessons and the shopping on the way and all of that kind of stuff as parent. So I kind of miss that. Now, I haven't been making the most of it while I have been off, but because I'm not the stay-at-home parent this time around. So it's all kind of a little bit different. I don't mind going out and working. I certainly don't feel like Marcus is an incompetent parent and I'm having to second guess him all the time, whereas the previous...
You did have some initial doubts, I'm quite sure, particularly when I said that I was a baby whisperer.
Well, yeah. But, you know, the ex, you know, leaving him with the kids was not feeling like there was a competent adult around, kind of a lot of the time.
What has given you that confidence, though, with me?
You're not a stressed parent. Maybe that's what the ex was as well. He was also a stressed parent, and he made me stressed, and there was the whole, the house must be tidy when he got home from work. Dinner must be on the table when he got in from work. There was all this constant pressure, whereas he is much more laid back and goes with the flow, and I don't know.
If you described that person to somebody in my past, they'd go, that's not him. No, that's not him at all. Maybe I've learned something. Maybe I'm just getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just getting old. Thanks.
I'll go back to the big one again, because look at this forehead. And I've got them lined up so well. Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, we change from previous partners. I think we feed on different energy as well. Like, yeah, if my ex was to walk into here, he'd be horrified at the mess that I'm tolerating. Because the previous house, you know, couldn't be...
You could have played cricket inside.
Yeah, it was large vacant areas of tidy nothing. Whereas now it's stuff everywhere, and I'm kind of
It's a house full of character.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But, you know, he'd be horrified because I wasn't living to his standards. Now, I've got my sense of orderliness, but it was at the point where I felt like I couldn't do my crafts in the previous relationship because it meant leaving my bag out on the chair next to me, or, you know, leaving things from the night before out on the chair and having it handy so I could just kind of go, you know what, I feel like stitching right now. You know, and I have all that next to me on the couch, and I don't have my husband going, would you tidy up for fuck's sake, you're such a... You know, and don't feel like he's breathing down my neck, and he's putting lights in for me to be able to stitch next to him.
I'm offering you a room to do it in.
Yeah, he is. It's like he wants to get rid of me.
Like
He wants to throw me out of the lounge. No. But he's wanting to make a dedicated space where I can record in peace without having her nibs running in and out and disturbing the TV if the TV was on, and, you know, whatever, that I wouldn't be inconvenienced, and that I could lay out my stuff and that kind of thing. And, you know, and I don't know, it's just...
If only I could get you into that room. There's no lock on the door. Is there a lock on the door? No,
I don't think there needs to be a lock on the door.
No, I don't think there's a lock on the door.
But yeah, there's just
If there were
a lot
lock,
less...
I'd say it.
Yeah, it's just much more relaxed dynamic, and you know, and I had the ex kind of saying, oh, but I support you in such and such, and yeah, no, it didn't happen quite like that. You know, the narcissism was far too real. Yeah. So yeah, we live, yeah, we live so differently, and I'm sure he does too with his current. Well, I don't know. Maybe he picked her specifically. I don't know.
There's zero file of information our way. You say that the children, that your previous children, your previous brood are sitting on the fence, but I put it to you, it's just that the information only flows one way.
Yeah, true. He wants to know what I'm doing, but you know, I'm not allowed to know what he's doing. I don't know that I want to know, to be honest. Curious in some ways,
Better off not knowing.
but yeah. He's got an extravagant lifestyle that, you know, when we had it, it was fun, but it certainly wasn't necessarily responsible. And yeah, wouldn't have suited where I'm at in life currently. I had responsibilities. I had a job. To do his lifestyle, I would have to lose that job, which means I would have to lose my financial independence. Yeah, I wasn't willing to sacrifice all of that. Yeah, Mark's quite happy being a kept man. No, he doesn't like his budget. He doesn't like that he doesn't get pocket money. He has made those waves of complaint.
I'm saying that, no. I think we should both have pocket money.
Oh,
You're spending from the general fund.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I am not.
Dynamically
I'm spending from the fund you don't know about.
Dynamically allocating. See, there you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whereas I'm scrimping $5 here off a shopping grocery thing, and you're just frittering.
Harsh.
It's kind of unequal, and
Yeah.
oh, it's terrible.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay,
he's got such a harsh lifestyle.
I've never had a partner buying me power tools before.
Or clothes.
No.
First thing I did when we met was actually buy him jeans.
It's like,
And he kind of went, what? And then the next thing I think I bought were shoes that fitted him. Because he said he'd never had a pair of shoes that were comfortable. Because he'd complain constantly that his feet hurt. And it was like, what the hell? So we went, and we got him sized for shoes. And it was like, yeah, these are not right. These are, you know, and he was whinging and complaining. Well, it turns out that his feet are like 4 times wider. 6 times wider, sorry, he's a 6W. Than other people's feet. Because he was a bloody swimmer when he was growing. So he's got feet the size of flippers, and he's got the physique of a breaststroker.
An Olympian. Well, maybe.
And, you know, nothing, he had shitty feet as,
So I can't
shoes.
a medium t-shirt, even though I've got a medium frame.
No, he's not. He's too broad across the shoulders, and see, he's wide, and the typical Y shape of a swimmer, and his feet are, you know, extra wide, so he wasn't used to having any of this kind of thing bought for him. And I'm kind of going, what the?
We're not talking about just the previous tenant. We're talking about all of the previous tenants.
His mother used to make his clothes for him when he was a school kid, so he never even had, you know, school uniform that was bought for him. She would make the clothes, which apparently were thin as, and
No, they're all quite comfortable.
then what was wrong as a
Okay, out of a school of 1,000 kids, there would be three not wearing jeans.
oh, 3 not
I was
wearing
one of the
jeans, right?
So, 0.3% really makes you stand out. As in wearing proper slacks. Now, the other 2 would have been wearing proper trousers slacks. They would have been bought.
Right, yes, whereas his were homemade.
Homemade.
Not because she couldn't
She made
pay for it.
She made fantastic clothes. It was just made me stand out like dog's balls, and I really didn't want to stand out.
No, he didn't want to stand out for a lot of reasons. Anyway, not going into them.
Yes, no, that's not true.
Yeah, that's his to tell. So yeah. Anyway, I'm done. It's fluff from the case. All right. Then I will go steal the super glue off the table. Fix the tray.
Can you clean the tip this time?
Yeah. Excuse me. Fix the tray. Because, you know, then I gotta go render the video. Then I've got to get dinner ready. Yeah, I know, all the domestic bliss. I don't have to get lunches ready, which is nice because I'm finished at lunchtime. Got to start walking this week after work, and yeah. Oh, nice. See, good drills. Whoa, there's a drill sticking up. That's a concave. Nice drills, lots of gaps, so you're not hearing much cracking there. But there you go. She's done. Look, she's got a pretty face. Look at the bling on her cheeks. That looks so cool. I thought it was freckles until it was actually. Oh no, we're putting down white. Yeah, because I'm not really referring to the image. Sorry. So yeah, there's. Oops. What's now? It doesn't like the wrong side of the plastic. So when you lift this, you have to be very, very careful actually when you lift the plastic, clear plastic cover, that you don't stick the wrong side down. That's another reason for putting the washi tape on, is so that you know which side is up. So yeah.
It's important to know
Just
sides up.
yeah, because if you put the wrong side down on the sticky, it will stick and you'll struggle to get it off.
I
So
think it's such an important thing for many aspects of life.
yes,
Making
dear.
sure you know which side is up. I just imagine how bad it could get.
Yes.
Think of a situation, just anything off the top of your head, and then imagine if it was upside down. I mean, the chaos that would ensue.
Yes. Sophie and I haven't had one of these philosophical conversations when I talk about the sky being green and the grass being blue and playing with heads. Yeah, that'll come. She's the kind of kid who'd actually enjoy it too, I reckon. But she needs to know her real colours before I start playing with that.
Yes.
So we'll get there.
And then we'll have to fix the phrase about colours, which is...
No, colours are wrong. Yeah. Ah, dear. Right, so I'll let you go. Yeah, working next week, and...
By the way, that's a copyright phrase. You can't take that in and put it on just your own diamond painting. You people.
Registered trademark. Yeah, all colours are wrong.
Owned by Marcus. Buy me a beer and I might change my mind.
Yeah. So, anyway, look, I'm done. Got her face done in an hour and a half with the yapping and everything else. Look, isn't she cool? She's very, very pink though. Actually, she's pinker to me than she looks in the camera. She's going to look all kinds of cool. And Sophie keeps asking to see her and keeps going, oh, so pretty. So it'll probably be going up in her room. Actually, and now that I'm back in the office and looking at my puke yellow walls and the goop everywhere, there's bits of blue tack and paint taken. My office is disgusting. The wall is just festy, and I'm so thinking of taking in some of my diamond paintings and putting them up.
Yesterday. Do you remember that place we drove past? I don't know, it was a Vogue or a Fingal, and it was the cow shed or the moo barn.
Oh, it had the black spots on the walls. Yeah.
Now, so what you could do is you get a spray can, just pick a colour, any colour, not purple.
Okay.
Purple, and just go shh, 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 shh. Cover your whole office space with
Graffiti.
Yeah. And just call it, just say, well, no, it's a Frisian, or artistic representation of.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to decorate your own office?
Yeah, we could probably, yeah.
And justify it along the lines of, well, it's a $2 can of spray paint versus
My mental health. Look at this pukey wall. Because the thing is, it's a big office. It's actually a 3-person space, sort of. But we've got 2 people in it, but we've got a spare desk in the middle. So my office desk, I've got looking into the centre of the room against looking at the big long wall of beige.
At the moment, it might change next week.
Oh, yeah, possibly. They tell me to move my office, but yeah, they do that quite frequently. And we've got 2 new people going to be coming because 2 people are leaving. So yes, there could be office movements again. Oh, jeez. Yeah, so I could bring in my diamond paintings and stick them up on the wall, just get the command strips and stick them up on those or something. But I've got a great big board, because I've got a standing desk, so I go from, you know, sitting height to standing height. So I've got a great big board that kind of goes up to my shoulder height, so I can't really put anything, well, I could put something above it. The walls are quite high. The other one, you know, if I was to put things up, would be going over where the vacant desk is, which kind of doesn't feel like it's my space anyway, but it's just where I look. It's just ugly finish on the wall.
Proper printing hang pictures, angled, curved things.
No, it's to fit it into the wall.
Into the wall and...
Yeah, see, we've had so many bits of crap put on the wall that there's holes gouged, and it's a 40, 50-year-old building.
Really?
40? No, it'd be 60s, 70s?
No.
Yeah.
60s.
No?
No.
Maybe not. Okay, well, maybe 30s. Definitely 30 years old. So it's had a few kind of lives, and, you know, they put up internal walls and take down internal walls and all that kind of jazz, so...
I'm thinking 80s, but you see, because the bridge went down, we developed this lifestyle, because we lived on the other side of the river.
Yeah.
There's this lifestyle of not going in and seeing what was changing, and I don't remember. It would have been in my childhood that building was...
Yeah, I know the outside with that staircase, that was in early 1800s, because it was the first spiral stairs in Tasmania or Australia. That's one of the buildings that they've kind of incorporated into this complex. And then the old building is ancient, but that's not where I'm based. I'm based in the building that's kind of new behind.
It was 80s. I reckon it would have been late 70s, but it couldn't
Yeah.
have been. I suppose it could have been while the bridge was down.
Yeah. Anyway, 70s. So at least 30 years.
That's well.
And as I said, the walls went up, the walls go down, they moved the walls and all that kind of jazz. We haven't been moving walls quite much, but they painted the corridors early last year probably, but they haven't painted some of the internal offices, and I don't know if I could get anyone to do it or if I can get the okay to paint it myself, but then my back.
You know what
It's
it
not something I
reminds me
should
of?
be doing.
It reminds me of that place at Rugby that shall remain nameless. Training happens.
Oh yeah,
It's similar kind of
era.
era, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been 70s then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Would have been because I was there when I was 8 years old,
Right.
and that was new then.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, mid-70s.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yes, that's the one thing that I don't like about my office. And I need to get a pretty calendar to give me something pretty to look at. I don't actually use the calendar, I just use the pretty pictures. Again, you know, anyway. Make the space my own, make it pretty. Because looking at the files or the shelves, it's just all...
Waterfalls.
But the shelf is even that I use for my files is all kinds of broken and... No, well, not broken. It's missing bits and it's just unsightly. It's just... This isn't a pretty room that I'm in. Whereas some of the other people have managed to score the pretty shelves. This thing was just in and I've inherited it because it's so freaking big to move. It doesn't move anywhere, so it's stuck in this room. So it's trying to make it so that it looks pretty. It still acts functional. Yeah, it's not going to happen in this space. I did have a nice shelf. Lost it. Because the person that was moving in needed a shelf, and when I was moving out there was a hideous shelf already in there, so I lost my pretty, and that's just how it is. I lost my pretties and have to make just do and be happy that I've got somewhere to put anything kind of attitude. So it's a little bit kind of, you know, yeah. Pretty office would be nice. Anyway, I suppose I'm lucky I'm working. Yeah. Anyway. Cheery bye. I will see you around the tubes, and yeah, let me know what you thought of those philosophical questions back at the beginning. Oh, I'll hold that thought. I need to actually do a series of videos, and I'm a bit annoyed that I'm procrastinating as badly or as well as I am. Yes, I'll get there. Alright, I will talk to you soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you. Bye for now. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.